Hi there, students. A swimming pool normally has two ends. One end where the water is really deep, and the other where the water is, what's the word for this, where there's only a small distance between the surface and the bottom? Shallow. Okay, shallow is an adjective. You could use shallowly as an adverb, and maybe you could even say the shallows as a noun. Okay, so shallow water, there's not a great deal of depth, there's little depth. So the river was very shallow and it was easy to walk across it. Please stay in the shallow end of the swimming pool because you're not a very good swimmer. When frying, you can deep fry or shallow fry, only with just a little bit of oil. Or maybe you could say the roots of an elm tree are quite shallow. They don't penetrate deeply into the soil. Okay, so shallow physically, not along a big distance from the bottom to the top. But we also use shallow metaphorically in many other ways. So, for example, you could say, I thought the film was very shallow. So it didn't have any deep thought. It was just very superficial. Yeah, you didn't need to think about it deeply. There was no great emotion. You didn't need to know very much. You could call a person shallow. Yeah, this guy is really shallow. He doesn't have a depth of knowledge. He doesn't think deeply about things. He just thinks about the easy, superficial things. Okay, so yeah, he is a very shallow demagogue. Yeah, he talks about the things that motivate people, but his observations are not very perceptive, not very penetrating. Only the easy and obvious things. Yeah, so that would be very a shallow person, a shallow character. Yeah, this book was very shallow. I like reading thrillers, but normally they're very shallow. Yeah, they're not deep and artistic and give you the opportunity to think about different things. Yeah, they're only shallow. We also could use shallow meaning weak or not very strong. For example, shallow breathing. Yeah, his breathing is very shallow. It needs to be much deeper. One good thing to think, if you can use deep to describe something, then clearly you can also use shallow. He took a deep breath. He took a shallow breath. Yeah, a deep pool, a shallow pool. A very deep poem, a very shallow poem. Yeah, so lacking in depth. Yeah, or very superficial in a metaphorical way, a very shallow mind. Oh yeah, I mentioned the shallows earlier. The shallows are maybe an area of water in a bigger body of water where it's not very deep. So the little fish or the big fish were sunning themselves in the shallows. But as the day got hotter, they went into the deep water. Yeah, so the shallows, the bit where the water is not really very deep. Yeah, but so a shallow, a shoal, if you like, as well. So I think this guy is shallow and untrustworthy. Yeah, a shallow mind, a shallow thought, a shallow description. A shallow explanation. No, I'd much rather give a deep explanation about things. Yeah, so don't be so shallow about it. Yeah, so having little depth, not extending a long way downwards. Concerned mainly with superficial matters. Not intellectual, not intellectually deep and penetrating, not wise and intelligent, but very simple. Yeah. So, how formally shallow? This is a 5 in formality. The adjective, you can use it anywhere. The adverb as well. He was breathing shallowly. Yeah, we only dealt with the subject shallowly. Yeah, that would work as well. We didn't deal with it in depth. Let's see. We've got an old English word, sceald, or sceald, meaning shallow, and that itself comes from Proto-Germanic scal, meaning to dry out, to parch, or something like that. Okay, I think maybe, yeah, it's related to this word, a shoal, a place where the water's not very deep. So, I hope that was not a shallow explanation to the meaning of shallow. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Shallow.